your hosts, Quixote and Lewis. Let's mark out.
Yes, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It is On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Welcome to episode 64. I'm your boy, Quixote, joined by Lewis, joined by Joe. Fellas, what's happening? The three.
You see that? The people's eyebrow.
The people's eyebrow is going bananas right now. Welcome to the show, fellas. Fellas, how y'all doing, man? What's going on? Another podcast. What's going on?
We're chilling, man, and we're thrilled to have our man Streamin Joel. This is the 3-man booth edition of On the Mark Wrestling.
Booth.
Yeah,
we got a lot of shit.
Officially part of the team.
Yes, man. Listen, man, we glad to have you on board, Joe. Listen, man, you bring great perspective. But we're gonna get into some big stuff today, man. Episode 64, man. So we're moving right along. Thank y'all for joining us on this ride. But today we got a little topic for you. We got a little topic. It's not a who would you rather. It's not a who better. It's just a general conversation. And Lewis, break down what we talking about today so people understand.
Well, let's get right into it. So, over the years, I woke up thinking, why is it that certain wrestling moves don't have the same impact? So, I'm thinking of the progression of the industry as a fan and as an analyst, if you will. Over the last 5 to 10 years, there have been certain pro wrestling maneuvers, no matter what kind of matches they are. It could be a gimmick match, one-on-one, tag team, triple threat, fatal four, whatever. There's always one or two moves that are overused and have been used ad nauseum.
Yeah, man.
So this is what the topic is. What are some of the most overused moves that you've seen in the last 5 to 10 years, or even dating back to 15 years, right? So let's go back to, I'm gonna pick a decade, the 1980s, if you will, or even the 90s, right? So some overused moves, you might say the DDT, the pile driver, the suplex, right? Those are basic moves in the arsenal. Now you fast forward to the 21st century. I mean, it is like every match with high spots has super kick party galore.
Right.
Canadian Destroyer Bonanza. And the list goes on and on and on. But from my perspective, the Canadian Destroyer, the reverse Rana, aka the reverse Hurricane Rana, and the super kick, the three most overused moves in wrestling.
The reverse Rana is a shocker.
I don't know about that one. Yeah,
I you know what? It is used a lot. It's used a lot, but is it egregious to the point where it's like, yo, it's a little bit too much? Like on AEW this past Wednesday, it was used, I believe, once, and that was by Pac. I think Pac used it once. I don't know.
Of course he did. Of course he fucking used it.
Yeah. And according to Lewis, that is one of the most overused moves. And I'm starting to see why you say that, because in almost all the PLEs or pay-per-view, on AEW side, not WWE, on the AEW side, we see that move used a lot. It is used a lot. Joe, what do you think, man? Is it overused, or is Lewis tripping right now? Like, what's going on?
I mean, it's like a little bit of both, because like the reverse Rana should be special, like because it still makes me pop. Like when I see it, I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope. but it's getting to the point where it's like, all right, we've seen it so much and so often, and I think it's been like a lot. Like every single big AEW pay-per-view will have a couple reverse Ranas. So like, yeah, I could see that being like, you're kind of overusing it to the point where it's like, it's going to get no pop soon, which sucks because it's such a dope move. Yeah. For me though, I think one of the most overused moves, and for some reason, every time I see it, I cringe, is the Spanish Fly.
Because
that's
a good one.
That's a good one.
I cringe hard when I see it because I always feel it's like the littlest margin of error and two dudes are just landing on their necks.
Yeah.
And you're going to have two broken necks. I'm so surprised it hasn't happened, and hopefully it never happens. But every time I see that move, I'm like, why are you doing this move? It doesn't look that special, and it looks dangerous as hell. So that's
a good,
my opinion.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah.
The Spanish fly, like, yeah, you're right. That's being used a lot. And what I don't like about it is the setup. The setup is it's so like, okay, hold on to me. I'm going to hold on to you. Like, it doesn't. Like,
it's almost like the Panama Sunrise.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
It's like there's no logic to this move.
No
but everyone
logic.
does it for some reason.
And what I don't like about it is that it's like no one's even fighting back to stop the move. Like, like if I'm up on the top rope, it's not like you grabbed me to pull me up to the top rope. I'm assisting myself to get to the top rope. So now I'm joining you to the top rope, and now I'm going to assist you again on flipping. Like, it's just like you said, there's no logic behind the move. So that's a good man. That's a good one. And I gotta go. Yeah. I gotta go with Lewis on one of the moves that when we talked about this topic today earlier, I was like, okay, I know immediately what I'm going to choose, and that's the super kick. The super kick is no longer special. It's not even effective. Like, you can't. The super kick has been overused so many times that when people do it, it doesn't connect right. It's so bad in some cases that the camera has to cut the angle so you don't see that it kind of just glaze the face a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just it's so overused. Now listen, if Sean ever got back in the ring and used it one day, it'd be special. It would be special because it's Shawn Michaels doing it, right?
Of course.
But when you got trash people, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to call them trash, but when you got when you got trash super kicks, like, and I'm going to say it, and I've been on her ass a lot. Britt Baker's super kick is one of the worst super kicks I've ever seen. I'm sorry, bad. Britt.
It's pretty bad.
It is the worst super kick ever. So when you see something like that, you look at the super kick and you're like, damn, this move used to be the move that knocked out Diesel, Psycho Sid, rest in peace, Hogan, Rock, Jericho. Like, this is the move that killed everybody. Won championships.
Yeah.
Now we got people doing it, and it just doesn't look good. It don't hit the same. Am I wrong, fellas? Am I out of line?
Yeah. Nah, you ain't out of line because the super kick was on my list. I mean, the way the Young Bucks have popularized the term super kick party, and I get it, because it's for the modern fan, right? Because we're more accustomed to seeing these moves used at a more frequent rate. Just because, like the business has evolved to where the athleticism has increased, so therefore the high risk maneuvers have increased. So there are a ton of high flying moves that have overused now too. Like I don't want to say the shooting star press, not so much, but there's other ones like
the 450 splash gets used a lot.
Yeah, like the 450 splash. That's a good one. Yeah. So look, the super kick. Once upon a time, like you said, K-Weezy, it was special. It was considered a finishing move. Yeah. But now I don't even know if you call it a setup move because it's just done just for it to be done. Yeah. Now, when we're mentioning super kicks and Spanish flies and Canadian destroyers or Panama sunrises, when they happen between two wrestlers in a match, or even in a tag team match, and if it's done well, like within the confines of the in-ring psychology, then I'll pop for it, and it'll pop the crowd, rightfully so. But sometimes it's just done like gratuitously. Yeah. And they're just getting up like right after. Yeah. Yeah. So,
it's not the same anymore.
And with the Canadian Destroyer, it's still an impressive looking move, but it doesn't have that same wow effect that it did back in the 2000s when Petey Williams was doing. Shout out to Petey Williams. You know what I'm saying? He's I don't know if he was like the official creator of the move, but he certainly made it famous.
He definitely was the guy that put it on the map. Like I never saw a move like that until TNA's Petey.
And I was fucking amazed back like when I first saw it, TNA circa 2005. I was like, how do you pull that off?
Yeah.
You know, but you didn't see it all the time because it
move,
was his finishing move.
Yeah,
that move went viral like before viral was a thing because I remember seeing that. Like there was like clips of that on like every wrestling blog when they first debuted it. But yeah, I feel the same way, especially with the super kick because like not only the Young Bucks because they're definitely partial to blame. But I think the Usos as well.
The Usos. I was literally just thinking that.
You like can't mention super kicks without the Usos.
Yes.
The WrestleMania match that they had, that I'm the biggest hater of all time of that match.
Oh no, I join you on that. No.
Yeah, that match sucked.
Yes.
Since that match, I've become a Jey Uso hater, and I'll be a Jey Uso hater until he does something that proves to me that I shouldn't be a Jey Uso hater. But that match was so annoying. Their super kicks where they were just trading super kicks. I was just like, all right, at this point, the move is dead. We're never gonna believe this move for.
Yep.
Like I don't even think you could do a like 2 count. Like almost 2.999 count with a super kick anymore, unless you're Sean.
Nah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fellas. Let me ask you. Who's got the worst super kick in the business right now? Worst super kick, Lewis. Worst super kick.
That's difficult, man, because there's so many people that are using it. So
I know.
I would have to literally sit and watch all of these matches in which it's being used. I can't. But I'll tell you this. I can't identify who has the worst super kick, but I can say, and look, I feel bad because you just shat on her. But
Britt to the Baker, dark side. Yes.
Britt Baker, everything that Britt Baker does in the ring, or at least 95% of what she does in the ring, looks super choreographed. And like she's thinking ahead. So she probably has one of the least convincing Canadian pile drivers in the business. Because you can see the setup from a mile away, and even when she's pulling the move off, you can tell that the other person is the one doing the heavy lifting. So like in the match against Mercedes Moné, Mercedes was the one that like made the move possible. It doesn't look like Britt Baker's performing the move. It just looks like she's being assisted, and it shouldn't look like that, you know. So
we have to one day do a show on Britt Baker alone. It's going to get so much hate mail, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Joe, how about you, man? Worst super kick or worst? Who does the worst move in the list that you named, or you could do the worst super kick, whatever you got on your mind.
I'm gonna throw a different move that I was thinking about that just came up while we were talking. The suicide dive is very overused now.
That's another one I was thinking of too. Like
and the person that does the worst, and the worst suicide dive is John Moxley's.
I knew it.
John Moxley literally does a push. He just jumps out and pushes you. That's all he does. It doesn't look any convincing at all. It's like the least convincing move that he does. I don't know why he does it. His like little clothesline thing that he used to do in WWE when he would like pull it, that was more convincing, and that move is trash. But his suicide dive is so bad. I'll give him that.
That's a good one.
Just so I don't shit on Britt Baker as well.
Well, listen, man. I didn't want to go too in on Britt Baker, but since Lewis joined in, I felt compelled to keep going. So I felt compelled. I mean, listen, fellas. I mean, we can't lie, right? It's just not good. She doesn't even get her leg all the way up to the face. It's like it hits you here. It almost hits you on the chest. Like it's not even a super kick. But listen, man. That's we wanted to bring a little bit to you guys here on the Mark Wrestling Podcast about the most overused moves, because what's happening in wrestling is that these moves are being so oversaturated that it's not special anymore. And the one move that is sort of getting there also, before we move on, the sharpshooter is getting used.
Mm-hmm. You think
a lot more often, not overused.
It's getting used a lot.
It's getting used a lot more often, and it seems that the sharpshooter, no one's selling hard for it. Brett was winning again championships with that move. That move was dead. You got people. Listen, I was getting my sister in the sharpshooter and having to tap out. Like I was doing all that. Right. My sister was in the sharpshooter, and she even sold better than some of these people selling for the sharpshooter. Now, again, It's not overused, but I'm starting to see a pattern. People are just locking in the sharpshooter just to lock in the sharpshooter, and it ain't doing the same thing that it used to do back in the day. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are just not creative anymore with moves, or just they're not thinking outside the box. They want to pay homage to people they like it back in the past and just want to use the moves. I don't know, but again, not overused, but it is getting there. It is slightly getting there. And speaking of the sharpshooter, off the tangent a little bit, Bret Hart will be on Raw this next Monday in the flesh. So you know your boy is going to be watching that hardcore. I got to see what Bret's going to say, do. I got to see what's going to happen. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out. Come on, Lewis. Why are you shaking your head? Lewis, don't say it. Don't say it.
What is this man gonna do on Raw? what? Look, Bret Hart is. We know he is one of the greats. We get it, And for I know for your money and for a lot of people's money, he's the GOAT, right?
The GOAT.
But what is 70-year-old Bret Hart? What is he contributing to Raw? Seriously, what is he contributing to Raw? What is his purpose? What is his
I'm not expecting him to do any moves or sharpshooters or anything. He might have like a backstage.
He should pull out a Canadian Destroyer.
He might pull off.
Bret Hart is one interesting fellow, man. That is an interesting guy.
He's an interesting guy, man. He hates everybody. He loves everybody. I mean,
he has a problem with like many people. And he takes himself very seriously.
Oh yeah, he takes himself seriously.
Again, like Bret Hart is a maestro. He's one of the greatest, one of the all-time greats. I'll never take that away from him. But like, dude, you don't have to hate on every single thing.
True. Brett's is a bit of a hater. Okay, but he's a legend, and he's going to come out to the ring. He's going to say, "Welcome to Canada. We all love you. I'm glad to be back here." And then he's going to walk his ass back up the ramp, and that's the last time we'll see him. So that's all he's doing. It's just Brett's going to collect a nice little check, and then he moves on.
We'll probably
Speaking
see
of
some.
Bret Hart, my bad, Joe. Go ahead.
No, okay. No, I was gonna say we'll probably see some sort of CM Punk interaction with Bret Hart for sure.
I can see that.
Yeah,
but what I was gonna say is, does anyone remember that Bret Hart is the man who unveiled the AEW World Championship belt?
Yes, yes, man.
And then that was it. That was literally the most one-off appearance I've ever seen in pro wrestling. He has never returned to the company.
Only appearance he's ever made was to unveil that championship.
Man. Get them checks, yeah.
He's getting the check. He said
he got that check, right?
And bounce, and you never saw him again. But
that's
there, man. But that was a little bit of the overused wrestling moves in wrestling today. But let's get to the administrator's report. Lewis.
Oh boy.
What do we got, man? I'm not hearing good things, bro.
Well, I'm not hearing good things, and I'm not seeing good things. But seeing is believing. So I'm a kind of read off of my screen here. So here's the administrator's report.
Oh man,
brace yourselves. Wednesday night's September 4th episode of AEW Dynamite did a whopping 660,000.
660.
I wanted to increase the number, but no, that's it. 660,000 compared to 691,000 from last week and 698,000 from the week before. But I'm gonna add something here. A little bit of historical data.
Okay.
1 year ago, during this week, Dynamite averaged 887,000 viewers.
Wow.
That's over 200,000 viewers in a year that we've seen in this decrease. And if you want to take it back a little further, 2 years ago, y'all ready for this? 2 years ago, Dynamite did a viewership of 1.03 million viewers.
Wow.
In 2022. So
damn. Jeez.
We've gone from 1 million viewers, like on an almost weekly basis, to now hovering under 700,000. And this has been happening for consecutive weeks. We no longer have the Summer Olympics. We don't have. Okay, MLB playoffs are starting in about a month, but what else is there? Like, what is the main competition? So
themselves.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I know that I said last week that this is only one small piece of the puzzle when it comes to TV viewership, because TV viewing habits have changed. People stream, they DVR, they do whatever. They don't really tune in live like that.
Yeah.
But it's clear that this is indicative of there's less and less fan interest in the AEW product. And I can't pinpoint it to one talent or one creative decision or one episode or one pay-per-view. I can't. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Lewis, I'm going to tell you right now, man. On top of the numbers being depressing for viewership, those arenas look depressing also. It looks like a dark abandoned mall that they're like there's just no light, there's no life. The cameraman can only stay so tight in certain shots. They can't do sweeping shots on certain areas of the arena compared to when they were in London for All In. The lights were on as bright. They got the whole crowd. It's a whole different experience in production, right? When your production crew is held to just staying on one shot or staying tight and not getting certain areas, it's tough. So couple that with the numbers, it's not a good look. But I don't know, man. Joe, what do you think, man? What's the problem with AEW? Like, why aren't people going to these shows? WWE is selling out. You would have thought WWE lowered ticket prices, but no, they rose. They rose those ticket prices are insane now. Insane.
Yeah.
And people are still going out. What's happening? What's happening?
I think that's the issue, actually. Like, WWE is hot. And people only have so much time for wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So if you're choosing which one to watch and WWE is hot at the moment, you're going to choose WWE just because it is the Coca-Cola of wrestling, right?
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Like AEW is not even Pepsi, right?
Damn.
It's not like Coca-Cola is established, WWE is established. This is a household name. When you say I'm watching wrestling, people assume you're watching WWE. Or if you say I'm going to a wrestling show, people assume you're going to WWE. People don't even. I remember. Here's a personal story. When I was going to Forbidden Door last year, I took a road trip to Toronto. I had to cross the Canadian border, and they asked me why I was visiting Canada. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to a wrestling show." And they were like, "Oh, WWE's in town." That's what the border patrol said to me. This guy had no idea that AEW was going to be in Scotiabank Arena, which is a pretty big arena. He had no idea. I mean, that's just a one-off thing, but I think that's just how people. Yeah. That's what it is. I think this might be their audience. This is their audience, 600,000 people, which is not a bad audience. It's just not. It's not going to compete with WWE.
Yeah, it's not going to compete.
That's just what it is.
But these arenas, though, bro. Like, what
is these smaller arenas?
You think they need to go the NXT route and kind of go that?
The Collision that they had for the last, before All In, they had a Collision in Dallas for a month. That was a pretty cool atmosphere.
It was.
I wouldn't be mad if they did something like that, where they just toured, stuck to one building for a month, and that way it kind of becomes people go there every week, and it's one of those things where if you saw the first episode, you want to come for the second, almost like Lucha Underground was back in the day. So maybe something like that would help, but then I don't know if that's their goal. Their goal might be to continue touring these empty arenas.
What's sad is that and what's sad is that AEW is not even, it's not like they're producing trash or garbage TV.
They're not.
They're beginning to do some storyline, what Lewis pointed out, which was really cool last show, is that they already had some of these storylines planned out before, during All In, that bled in or that's going to bleed into All Out, which is something I don't think they've done before, and that's good. That's good. We're seeing. Yeah. There's things with the whole Moxley thing. Who knows where that's going to lead? I have no idea.
And that's a good angle.
That's a good angle. No idea where it's going, but I'm with it. I'm going to stay with it. And then Swerve's family house is in flames. Like your boy Hangman. Yo, I popped so hard for that. That was
that was cool.
Hangman,
that was a cool visual.
Probably one of the best promos Hangman has ever done.
Yeah.
And Swerve's reaction gives you that, okay, Swerve's definitely going to be babyface in this. And your boy, I just wonder how Swerve posted that house early the afternoon. I'm buying my family home. I felt for him. I was like, look at this guy. Then that same night, your boy Hangman torches the house. Hangman should be in jail for arson. Like it should be.
That's what I was gonna say. Like nobody thought to call the cops and arrest this man. Like he literally just set a house on fire.
Who lives on that block
to do it too? Like
who lives on that block?
Someone and someone would have been there probably by the time the promo ended.
Yeah, man. Who lives on that block that no one sees a raging inferno? Like no one noticed that there was a house and a guy sitting in a couch outside. Like no one noticed this. Like it was great though. It was great. It took all of your belief in anything out. It was out.
I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
What feud is hotter right now? Hangman and Swerve or Punk and Drew?
Oh, Hangman and Swerve.
Hangman and Swerve for sure.
Wow, I thought it was gonna be.
Nah, man, I'm.
Oh, Lewis. Oh man, you just named
something.
You just named the name.
You made me grunt. Yo,
Lewis is gonna turn heel on. He's gonna cut a promo right now.
I'm turning. I'm about to pipe bomb this bitch right now.
The bracelet is not for you, bro.
Nah, I'm not. I have not been into CM Punk at all in 2024. I was very much excited when CM Punk first returned to wrestling and he was in AEW, different environment, different matches with new opponents. I have just been I don't know Punk personally, obviously. I don't go out drinking with him. I don't hang out with him. I don't know him personally. But I think all of the antics backstage and I'm not putting the blame on him. I just want to make that clear. I'm not putting the blame on him. But the fact that he was associated with two of the worst incidents in the company's history, AEW that is, it really did leave a sour taste in my mouth.
Yes,
and it further validated or reaffirmed why I think, along with other fans, why he may be, he just comes across as arrogant and takes himself smells his shit a little bit too hard. That's just my opinion. I mean, I think he's a good wrestler, obviously, but I'm not really into him as a character. I don't really care for whatever he has to say on the mic these days. He looks phenomenal. He's probably in the best shape of his in-ring career. And that's saying a lot for him being 45, 46, whatever he is. But he doesn't really do anything for me. So this feud with Drew is at this point is dragging, and let's have the blow off at Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell, make it an all-out war. But I'm over it. Just start putting CM Punk in something more meaningful. But I'm just not into CM Punk. I'm not into him.
Joe, I'm gonna be honest. I am enjoying this ride of chaos they are taking us on. Like it's been a steady. Like the first match was meh. The strap match was good, and now we're getting like Lewis said, the blow off here on Bad Blood in a steel cage, which should be the main event. It should be the thing that closes the show, and I think it's going to be actually probably really good. And I just love Drew in all this, and I like what Punk is doing too. I'm not crazy about Punk myself. I think he's okay. I don't think he's a great wrestler. I never thought he was a great wrestler. I just loved him on the mic. I thought he had charisma. He has personality, all that good stuff. I just never been impressed with his in-ring. But this feud is now catching my attention. But it ain't catching my attention like what's happening with Swerve. And you legit feels like you legit feel like someone's going to try to kill someone on at that. Like someone is going, like it's going to be on another level. So which I'm excited about. So Joe, you feel what you're for the Punk. You're like this Punk and Drew?
Nah, I'm definitely more the Hangman and Swerve as well.
Okay.
The reason I asked though is because I've been hearing a lot of people saying that Drew and Punk is feud of the year.
Feud of the year.
Yeah, I'm like, are you guys watching what's going on between Hangman and Swerve? Like, that has to be feud of the year. Like, this.
Yeah,
I think people that say that, look, with all due respect, I think people that are saying that are WWE marks.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't care how much of a dick I sound like, but that sounds like very much like a WWE mark perspective. Is it a good feud? Yes, it's a good feud. But like rivalry of the year.
No,
I mean, I would think it's one of the better ones.
It's up there.
But like as the top feud, I don't know.
Yeah. To me,
I'm not gonna say hell no, but
yeah,
you know.
To me, Hangman and Swerve though, the way they've been building this has been like perfect. Like even the fact that like Swerve's whole like thing is whose house, Swerve's house. And then his house ends up getting burned down. Like, come on, they've been planning this for a long time. They planned this down to the T, and this is like long-term storybooking that I fucking love.
Yo,
like,
that's funny. Yeah,
like that had to be planned. Like this whole time, this him breaking into Hangman's house first, and then it turns out finally the one thing that Swerve like lets his guard down because Swerve has never showed anything personal.
Exactly.
And now the one thing Hangman lashed onto it and burned his house down. See? That's fucking dope. Yeah. And then one underrated thing that I don't know if a lot of people picked up because I just finished watching Dynamite not that long ago, but he was drinking. Hangman was drinking again when he was with the house on fire. And that's a huge thing. Hangman shouldn't be drinking anymore. He stopped drinking. I was like, oh
I
shit.
didn't even
He's
know
a full-on heel. He's drinking again.
Oh wow!
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I had to rewind. I was like, wait, was he drinking? And then he had like a glass of whiskey or something. I was like,
oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, I like heel Hangman. Heel Hangman is cool.
Yeah, heel Hangman has my attention
for sure.
So I think. Listen, man, I think we're going to get on both sides. I think we're going to get a very good steel cage matches on both.
Look, folks. I apologize for coming across as a CM Punk hater, but at the same time, I don't apologize. Sorry, not sorry. It's like you, Joe. Like you proudly wear the fact that you're a Jey Uso hater on your sleeve.
I hate Jey Uso.
Damn. See, I don't hate Punk. I just don't care for him.
Yeah, I don't hate Jey Uso, but I am getting to the point where I'm getting a little bored with him. Yeah, I'm getting a little bored.
That's what it is.
That's all it is. With Punk, I don't care for him, and I'm just bored with him. If you would have asked me this 2-3 years ago, I was all for CM Punk, but now I'm just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Now, is it me, fellas, or is the yeet corny?
Oh my god, it's so corny, dude.
Okay.
It is.
I thought it was me.
Yeah. It is, but it's not for us.
It's not.
It's not for our age group.
It's not for our age
think
group.
About it. The merchandise with the glasses, the shirt. Like
I can't
it's
really
rock for
that.
The younger.
Yeah. I can't.
You're not gonna see me showing up to work like yeet. Like I'm not. Nah.
Yeah, it's a little cheesy. It's a little corny, and it makes Jey Uso look like a caricature. Like it's just. I don't know.
I think that's what bothers me about him is that they took away everything that made him cool and just simplified it to yeet.
Simple.
Because when he was on the run, like right after he left the Bloodline, I actually went to a SmackDown in North Carolina, I think, and he showed up and the crowd went crazy. And this was before yeet. This was like before he even started saying the yeet thing. It was before he won the tag team titles with Cody, all of that. The crowd went crazy, and you could tell the crowd just wanted him to be main event Jey Uso.
Right.
And I think they stripped all of that away and just simplified him to being the yeet guy. Damn. And it's like, bruh.
Call me ignorant, but I may be a little behind here on the times, but what does yeet mean?
Good question. Catch me.
You don't know?
I don't know either.
I know. I think yeet originally the slang was to like throw someone. Like I yeeted that person, or I yeeted that. Like I don't know what it means in
so it's a verb. Not a noun.
Yeah.
Like break it down in terms of grammar, parts of speech. Because I'm like, can I yeet someone, or is
I don't know
if something is cool, is that yeet?
I don't know because now Jay uses it for every word.
Every word.
It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hate it. And now Joe being on this podcast with you, you're slowly making me hate Jey Uso. So
good.
You might
look. I say, look, the feud to end all feuds, book CM Punk versus Jey Uso. That's money. That's money, man.
I would hate both sides.
Yeah,
that is money.
I definitely pay to see both of you in the arena rooting for the other person to win. Like, it'll be amazing. Lewis is like, Jay, get him, Jay. Joe is like, nah, Punk, get him, Punk. I'm just like, yo, listen, man, I have no skin in the game, man. So we shall see, man.
But you'll just be there sitting and waiting for Bret Hart to show up.
Yeah, I'm just sitting. Listen, yeah, I'm waiting for Bret to come out and put somebody in the sharpshooter. I'm waiting for somebody.
Right.
But yeah, man, listen, we went off a little tangent on the administrative report, but it was necessary because, we have some concerns with AEW. But listen, man, AEW is getting that money. Apparently, they got a new deal. PLE, their pay-per-views may go to Max. There may be some new programming. Who knows, man? But
yeah,
they'll be the second largest in revenue. That Tony Khan made an announcement of something. Allegedly, they'll be the second largest in revenue. Obviously, they'll be the second largest in revenue. I don't think that's a I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I mean, it's not like NWA is out doing it. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. And we'll see what these cage matches look like too. But with the time we got left, fellas, I'm going to go into a little bit of the card for this Saturday or Sunday. This
Saturday.
The Saturday's All Out in Chicago. Now, in terms of the card, there's a couple of matches that stick out. Obviously, the Swerve Strickland, the Hangman, we touched upon a little bit. Danielson defending his title against Jack Perry, which I think will be an interesting match. And then Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. That should be better because Hikaru Shida is a way better wrestler than Britt Baker.
Because the Britt Baker hate again.
Yeah, listen, man.
Man,
I tried.
Can I just say this three-man booth has absolutely eviscerated three people. Punk, Jey Uso, and Britt Baker, like they're like the three most hated on this podcast.
Guys, I really tried. I really did.
Tony Khan got to book the trios match right there.
She's got to book
the trios match.
But fellas, give me if you know anything about the All Out card, anything y'all want to see that you think that might hit. What do you think of the card in general? What on here should be good? Joe, what do you think, man?
I'm looking at the card now, and honestly, most of these matches will probably be good. They're just really random,
right?
But I'm definitely looking forward to Pac versus Ospreay.
Yeah,
that should be an athletic showdown.
Mm-hmm.
MJF and Daniel Garcia too. I think they raised their feud a lot this past week with the MJF hitting Garcia with the bottle, making him bleed. Mm-hmm. That was a dope little segment.
Yeah, that was.
And then of course the Swerve Hangman match. I think that's gonna main event most likely. It should main event.
Yeah. How about you, Lou?
Yeah, it was more or less the same. I think the two matches that I'm looking forward to the most are the Hangman and Swerve, the cage match, and God, my mind is drawing a blank. MJF and Daniel Garcia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How about
I'm proud of Daniel Garcia, man. This is a good spot for him.
Yeah, man. Daniel Garcia, he obviously signed or re-signed the contract because that was a little bit, the reason why he was off TV was, his contract was up and he was trying to figure out what he was going to do. There's no way if I'm Daniel Garcia, I'm thinking I'm going to go to WWE and be somebody right now. There's just no way. They would have buried him. They would have put him on some show called Lightning or something like that. I don't know. It would have been terrible. They would have not done anything. They would have never done anything with Daniel Garcia. He would have been one of the background guys carrying Charlotte Flair as she comes out to WrestleMania. Like one of those,
Right.
He would have been that guy. I'm just sorry. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. But he's good, obviously in the ring and all that stuff. Is it me, or this is kind of random? Does Daniel Garcia have to gain a little bit more muscle? He just seems very compared to MJF.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no like,
I can see that.
And MJF is not even a tall guy. He's just a physically bigger guy, like body type, not taller than him. Not even, I don't think taller than Danny. They might be even the same height, but Danny's body just looks like the Brooklyn Brawler. Like it just looks like it's just nothing. There's no muscle tone. I mean, he's a young guy. I just feel like Danny, he
needs to. Yeah, he needs to look more. He needs to look more physically imposing.
Yeah, man.
You brought up a good point. Like MJF is not, like the height of Kevin Nash or anything like that. But he looks the part. Of like he'll give you a run for your money if you were to face him in the wrestling ring. Mm-hmm. But Daniel Garcia, athletic as he is, he doesn't look imposing. He doesn't look intimidating. But shout out to Daniel Garcia. It was an honor eating glizzies with you at 2 a.m. in LA.
Yeah,
so
man.
I just Daniel Garcia, if you're watching, you may not remember that.
Yeah, but friend of the show, man.
Yeah,
we had Lewis ran up to him, like, "Yo, Danny, what's up, baby?" Danny was like, "Yo, he was cool. He was mad chill. He was mad chill, man. He was just one of the guys, man."
So I'm always gonna be supporting him.
Yes. Now, fellas, before we go here, I'm curious of your thoughts on Mercedes Moné and the Brick House Camille. How do you think this is going so far? Joe, what do you think?
I like it so far. Actually, when I was watching Dynamite, I was looking and seeing just Camille's like facial reactions while Mercedes is talking. Like you could tell she's learning a lot just by being in the ring with her, which is interesting because Mercedes is not the best talker, but I feel like she's learning how to tell a story in a little bit. Because eventually, I'm guessing, because this is how it usually happens in wrestling, one of them is going to turn on the other.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And just like the little bit of like when Mercedes will say something, Camille will give her like the head nod, like, yeah, she is the best. She is the CEO. Mm-hmm. Like you should. And I'm just like, okay, she's learning a lot just by being next to her, which is really dope.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like once she does have that breakout, and she's going to be a huge baby face just because her size, her stature, she's going to be amazing. So yeah, I think it's working pretty good for me.
Yeah, man. How about you, Lewis?
Yeah, me too.
What you think, man?
No, I think the pairing of Camille and Mercedes I think it's great because Mercedes needed that extra something.
Yeah.
And clearly Mercedes is running that women's division right now, whether people like it or not. That's Tony's plan for her. She probably will not drop that TBS title this year. So folks need to get used to it because he paid her big bucks. So therefore he's going to make that investment in her.
Yeah,
she is the one that is going to be plastered on the billboards for the foreseeable future.
And I'm not mad at that because Mercedes, at the end of the day, even though some is critiquing the promo, she's never been a good promo, but critiquing the promo, critiquing the thought process behind some of the things she's doing in terms of like the celebration party in the back that was just weak. It was visually just terrible. It was dark. It looked like one of those like basement parties that no one's really at yet. It's still too early. No one's there yet. Like it looked like one of those. You know what I'm saying? And we all been to one of those basement parties where you got there way too early. You got there way too early.
You still set it up. You hop into the
still set up. You're like, oh,
right.
Man, you told me 12, baby. It's 12 o'clock. What are we doing? So it looked like one of those, but it's still Mercedes, and she still is cash. Like she still looks great. She could still go. She's still in the prime. She's a star, man. And like Lewis said, she probably ain't dropping that title until the beginning of the next year. Like she's not. There's no need. There's no need.
There is no need.
And then after that, you throw her in the main event for that women's championship. Now you're rolling. Unless you do that earlier and you want to throw her in now. I mean, you could do whatever you want with her. And I'm with it. I'm liking the Camille pairing. I think it's going to work itself out. I think they're getting to know each other and the mannerisms and the picking up on each other and all that stuff. At first, Camille looked a little hesitant, but I think Mercedes is going to guide her to the promised land. So we'll see.
Oh yeah.
And then Camille will turn on her like Joe said.
Yeah. I got a slight prediction. I think that we'll probably see Mercedes hold both women's titles.
You mean the TBS and the heavyweight champion?
I think at some point we're probably going to see that.
Wow.
Whoa.
Maybe not in 2024, but let's put it this way, if Mercedes enters the year, which she most likely will, but if she enters 2025 as the TBS champion, I could totally see her maybe at Double or Nothing, marking the 1 year anniversary of a TBS title win, winning the women's world title.
Shoot, man, that's
a heck of a prediction. See that. I could totally see that. So mark that I said that on this.
I'm gonna mark that you said that. That's
then next summer, if she's holding both belts, I'm gonna be like, I told you so.
Long-term booking on Lewis's part. Long-term book. I like it. I think that's if you're gonna have any woman do it, I do it with Mercedes.
Yeah,
not Britt Baker. No Britt Baker. No Britt.
One final shot.
Yo, Keone went for the low blow. We need a laugh track on that one. He went for the.
I went for it. Yeah, I went for it. I went for it. Man. Fellas, thank you for joining. And people, thank you for joining. This is On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, episode 64, 3-man booth edition, coming at y'all. Keone, Lewis, Joe, thank you as always, man. Thank you for showing up, man.
For sure.
The new edition, man. But until next time, join us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, even TikTok. I'm gonna throw some stuff on TikTok too. Just shorts. I'm gonna throw the shorts on TikTok, and all that good stuff. But until next time, we'll come at you with some all out feedback. Yeah. See what that cage match did. That to me is the match that everybody's talking about. We'll see how that cage match hit, and we'll talk about it. But until next time, y'all, later.
All right, everybody. Peace.
You've been listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling, and email us at onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.